I just thought about this of like, what it seems like a pretty straightforward argument until you give it some thought, like or like a question that has an argument behind it. What is the purpose or reason for bondage? Like, I'm talking about bondage from your anything from like a historically where one nation or a tribe of somebody's is like capturing other people to like a slave, a people capturing people going from to and from a town, and they're caught vulnerable and they're trapped into enslavement, to like somebody that can't pay off their debts historically, and and they made a deal to where that they can be enslaved, and the you're born and your parents die, and then you're put into slavery, and in the future, you look at countries like Libya, and there's a growing number of countries that are turning towards slavery instead of away from slavery. We are going towards it, and it begs the question. It begs the question as far as like, well, slavery has been done since one of the earliest things that we ever got wrong, right? Why is there still, like, why is slavery a thing? Why is slavery a thing? What's the purpose historically, and what's the purpose now for slavery? And obviously 99% of everybody who's anybody agrees that slavery is not okay. Why? Because nobody likes the idea of one person having so much power over another person to where it doesn't make sense to people. No one person should have that much control over another person. Is kind of, if they're married, if you get married to your wife or your husband, you don't even have that control or that power over them. Like, and you're committing your afterlife together, and you're not even you're not enslaving each other. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. And so when you think about it like that, like why would marriage be a thing that everybody strives for? And well, not everybody, but a lot of people really love getting married. It's a commitment to where you kind of own each other in a weird way. You're committing yourself to that person. And then slavery is just so detestable by nearly every person on the planet, and where did it come from, and why is it becoming more of a thing nowadays? And and I think that it has to do with with what we put our value into as the lesson. So like if you're the kind of a person that puts value into like love and to be in marriage and to, like, to have, you know, friends over on the weekend and to value your time with them, if you value experiences, like if you'd rather go on a great vacation, you know, and have an experience rather than, like, you know, spend $2,000 on, you know, some thing that you're going to throw away in like 2 years or a year, you know, it's where you put your value. And neither one of those things is wrong, by the way. It's more of like an indication of like, what do you value? Do you value, you know, an experience, or do you value, you know, a thing? Do you value things like love, or, you know, do you value, you know, illusions, or like what do you value? Control, or like what perceived control? It's kind of like the people that value, like most people do nowadays, you know, love and, you know, time with loved ones, things like that, they're typically not, almost always not going to be the kind of people that would put anything whatsoever into enslaving. And I'm not going to speak about this exactly to everyone, because I'm sure that there's exceptions to everything, but generally I think that that's the rule. You know, there's debt slaves, that people that will try and get you caught up with debt, and that's a form of enslavement that's happened forever. But for the most part nowadays, it's more like you just have to work it off. You have to go to work a little early, leave a little bit late, maybe get a second job to pay off your debt, and it's, you know, it is what it is. And then you take the lesson and you learn from it, and then you go on YouTube or wherever it is, and you talk about it and share your mistake, you know, type of thing. It's not impossible to get out of. And I think about like what happens in a country like Libya, if that's going to be our future. And I think about who are the winners and the losers there? Are they the people that are buying and selling people, or are they the losers? Like, in a place like that, the value system is all messed up, right? What you value is not just your culture. What you value is not just the way of your life. It's the way that the economy works. It's the whole nuts and bolts to the whole shebang. And, you know, so long as the people that value things that you value hold strong, things will be okay. Things will be okay. But as soon as Libya happens here, or some iteration, then that's when we got to worry about it. And that it happened at no other time than that. It's when they stopped valuing things, you know, that we value.